Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome back to my top 100 board games of all time. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, let's do this. On number 80, it is Master Builder. Master Builder is the game where you are going out building, you're hiring contractors and bidding for contracts and building certain buildings or walls to create this big 3D city. Now to do that, you're going to need to hire the right people to build the right areas like the walls, the roof, gates or doors, whatever it is you're building, and you're going to come across obstacles all the time. Workers are going to be sick, or they're going to be called off by the king, or something bad is going to happen most assuredly every time to hinder you from getting this thing built. Once you do though, you'll get lots of money, and money has never been tighter in any game. In fact, in each one of these games, I think everyone eventually takes debt, which is not a good thing, but you have to take it because money is very hard to come by in this game. But that's why when you build one of these buildings, you get a windfall of money and you can blow through that pretty quick as well. I absolutely love this game. The artwork isn't the best, but the 3D buildings and the walls, it looks really cool. Now, we have a house rule that you get to keep playing the game after a few extra rounds until somebody has nothing to build, and then you end the game there. Even doing that, we've never been able to complete the whole city, so we'll just kind of put it together, and every time I play this with new people, they always like to take a picture of the 3D city that they've just built. It is a really great game. I don't know why people don't like this game. I think it's really awesome. There's, like I said, events that are hindering you from doing certain things or building certain buildings. You got to watch who you hire and when and where you hire them, because smart management on that is going to save you tons of dollars and money. And just make sure you know on each building piece it tells you who needs to build what. But folks, I've seen this game on Miniature Market for like $8. I don't know if they still have it, but you can find it for like $10 or cheaper, and that's just mind-boggling to me because this game just keeps getting better and better every time I play it. Master Builder, number 80. Number 79 is Dice Forge. In Dice Forge, you are forging your own dice. You are rolling the dice, getting coins or getting certain, I don't know, power points, and you're cashing those coin or power points in for new faces on your die and trying to make your die rolls even more powerful than before. It's a very unique game. I don't think many games have this mechanism to it, and I really enjoy Dice Forge a lot. I didn't play the expansion this year. The expansion kind of changes the game two different ways, which is fun. It's really good, but I think we just played plain Jane this year and we had a great time. So maybe you don't need that expansion. I raved about the year before, even though I do love the expansion. This is just a great little game. You're just popping off all the pieces, kind of connect like Legos in a way, and you're popping off the panels and putting in new ones. And to be honest, I mean, yeah, it is luck of the roll, of course, but then you get to decide, you get to mitigate that luck a little bit because you're the ones putting the different faces on there. And there's different strategies for victory too. The game goes X amount of rounds, and then of course whoever has the most points wins. I don't understand the theme at all, but who cares? You are forging your own dice, and that is good enough for me. If you like dice rolling games with this unique mechanism that not many games use, I guess this would be one of your only choices, but it's a good one. Dice Forge, my number 79. At number 78 is another dice chucking game, because hey, who doesn't love chucking dice? And Biblios Dice, that is. Biblios Dice, you're rolling these dice and then you're taking one of those die and moving up a certain track. Eventually you'll have a bidding phase where everyone will be bidding coin to get either one or two different stacks of die, groups of die I should say, and then of course you're moving up all those tracks or getting extra coin too. This is just a really great game. There's a card game that's super popular. Everyone loves it. I gave my copy away. Or no, I gave it away in a trade, I think. But I kept Biblios Dice because I just absolutely love it. You're trying to go up several different tracks, and the game penalizes you if you just focus on one track, meaning you have to go up on all these tracks. You're going to end up with negative points at the end of the game. So the game kind of forces you to move up on all of them. Now, there's also a bishop track, which can also end the game as well, but can also give you some extra victory points at the end too. Very smart game, very easy to play. Of course, I just love anything with unique dice, and Biblios Dice, in my opinion, is better than the regular card game Biblios. Fight me. No, really don't. I really can't fight. At number 77 is Coal Baron. Oh, do I love Coal Baron. Coal Baron, you're taking these cubes and you're bidding around. It's almost worker placement in a way, but you're also bidding with the cubes as well. So like you bid 3 cubes on a certain space. Someone can outbid you and go 4 cubes. What happens to your 3 cubes? They just go away. You lose them for the round. So it's about betting the amount of cubes that you think would be good, or how much you're willing to pay for that certain spot. And to be honest, it is in a way cube management, because a lot of times I'll start off with 1 cube. If no one wants that spot, you got it for 1 cube, which is an incredible price. Someone should have bid you up on it. This is just such a great game because you're going for coal, you're going for action points, methods of delivery, orders, coal orders, so you can get victory points. And there's 3 rounds, and every round you know what you're getting scored for. The first one I think is just number of coal, and the second one is the number of deliveries or something like that. But it stacks. So whatever you score the first round, and the second round you're going to score that again, and then this. And then the third round you're going to score this, and what the new one is. And the first 2 rounds, you're not even making it close to being around that track, and you're thinking, am I really gonna, why'd they put 100 points on here? Dude, you will go around that track in the third round. It's kind of crazy how that works. But, and at the end of the game, you need to have a perfectly balanced coal mine, meaning lit and unlit tunnels need to be perfectly balanced in a way. You need to have X amount on both sides. So this is such a great game. I know they made a card game of this that no one wants because it's always up for sale for cheap. So don't bother with the card game. Get the regular board game, Coal Baron. It is phenomenal and a lot of fun. You know, I say phenomenal about a lot of my games. I need to find a new word. At number 76 is the only new game I'm going to talk about that entered my collection this year. And it's a Queen game, Neptune. Holy cow, was I surprised by this game. I've looked at this game on and off for the past few years because basically, it's pick up and deliver. You're drafting cards, right? And then you're trying to draft your route. You get to decide at the very beginning what stops you're going to make, 1 through 5. But if you skip over any of those stops while you're actually traveling, you just lose those points. Now, why would you do that? Because you get X amount of turns to travel to certain spots, and so you may just have to skip it because I'll get more points if I go here, so I'll just skip this one and lose the points. You think I'll never do that, but you will. And you got to play this one with the Queenies. I do have to say that because the Queenies make the game even better. It forces you to move out around the board. Without the Queenies, people would just take routes that were right next to them, right? So you'd be sure to get all those points. Even though the bigger points are further out, maybe you don't want those because a lot of times you are not going to make those. In fact, every round we ever played, only one person completed their entire trip each time. You could have multiple people do it, but no one ever did. It was always one person. So it is really hard to complete your entire trip there unless you're going to skip over something. But what the Queenies do, it kind of forces your hand to kind of spread out and deliver different types of items to different areas because that's going to give you extra points in the game, and those points you really want. I can't remember what it's called, the Queenie's called, but it's the mural, where every time you go to a certain place, you get to place a mural in there, and you're trying to build this nice mural of, I believe, King Neptune. And we didn't care about getting victory points. We cared about creating that stupid mural for a Queenie. But it does get you a little bit of victory points in the end, but at the same time, I just thought that was really cool because it basically distracted you from the base game of how you could get points. Boy, this game is super smart. If you can find it with the Queenies, definitely get it. You can find it without the Queenies for pretty cheap. You know, this is one of those games you come across, it's going to cost you maybe 15, 20 bucks, which is worth it. It's fun for that reason. But the Queenies just elevate this game, in my opinion. Now, even with the Queenies, they can get it at a good deal. But Neptune, a new Queen game that made it this far up my top 100, and it's just getting started. I wonder where it will be next year. Anyway, moving on. Number 75 is a fantastic dungeon crawl that I haven't played in some time. It's Space Hulk. I didn't get to play it this year because we finished off the entire campaign the year before. And what a campaign this is. Folks, this is Aliens, the board game. You're a bunch of space marines. You've entered a derelict ship that's infested with aliens. They're fast moving. They're easy to kill, but they're fast moving. And if they get up on you, hand-to-hand combat, space marines aren't good at, and they're usually going to lose. Now, one person plays as the alien, the other person plays as the space marines. You can even split that up into two groups. Now, and have two people play the space marines and one person play the aliens or whatnot, 4, 2-on-2 or whatever. This game is fantastic. I've been playing through the campaign for quite a number of years now. I'm kind of surprised how many years I've had this in my collection, and I just finally finished it. We have had some epic games over the years with Space Hulk, and it's been so much fun. And when we finished it last year, I knew I wasn't going to get a chance to play it, which is why it dropped a lot. If you know, folks, this has usually been one of my top 10 games every year. So it's fallen a lot, but that's just because it has not been played. Now, I'll be honest, out of all the dungeon crawls I own, this is the one that I want to play through again. Next. I just absolutely had a grand time. You remember stories for years to come after playing this game, and thankfully it's readily available. So there's plenty of reprints, a 3rd or 4th edition, who knows. Game Workshop, they do a lot of miniature games. This is like a board game they made, which is top quality. I hated putting the pieces together, so if you're not into minis or Warhammer, buy a used copy. Trust me, don't buy a new copy like I did. But it is just such a great game. I absolutely love it, and I hope to play it again soon. At number 74 is also another dungeon crawl that I also finished this summer. It is Descent. Now, in the past, Descent has, back in the day, it was early, it was high in my top 10, then kind of slowly slowed down over the years. We have played slews of it over the years. I mean, seriously, it has been I believe we were laughing about a 5-year journey playing through all the adventures. And I mean, many, many hours were put in. A lot of our vacation weeks at the beach were spent playing Descent at night. My nephews were reminiscing back to how old they were when the game started. One of my youngest nephews who was playing the game this year for the first time, he remembers being a little kid and watching his older brothers play this and wishing that he could play it one day. And it's kind of funny because it's been this long journey, and we ended it really well. It was a really epic ending to the game. I kind of spiced things up. I won't lie, at the end, and gave them something special, but we put theme music to it and everything, and it was a lot of fun. Now, I know they're coming out with, it's not a reboot, but a separate edition of Descent. It's not a 3rd edition, but I don't know. The jury's still up. It's not 2nd edition, they said. It's kind of a standalone game. And I think that's enough for me to hold off getting it, because it looks like they're never going to do anything for 2nd edition again. And if they do a 3rd edition, I think I'm good. I think I'm good, because I have a complete set of Descent 2nd edition. That thing goes for, thousands of dollars, because I've got all the rare cards and the minis and everything. And it's all out of print now. I absolutely love it. It's up way on top of my shelf. It takes up a lot of space there because all the minis I keep in one big or several different cases. And I absolutely love this game. Now, will I play it again all the way through, all the adventures? I'm totally up for that, but not for a while. Not for a long while. Probably all of my other dungeon crawls are going to be up next to play through, because Descent is going to be a 5-year commitment. I mean, playing all the expansions, all the adventures, all the campaigns, that is a lot. But let me tell you, Descent's so much fun. You have so many victories, you have so many stories to tell. Your characters, you start getting into the role play aspect in between, because sometimes that does help you out on how you behave, how you interact with certain characters, can give you rewards and everything. It's a board game baby step into an RPG. I say baby step because there's not that much role playing in it, but a little bit, enough to where there's a little bit of quasi Dungeons and Dragon-esque features to it. But Descent on its own is just wonderful. Now you can get like the base game, I think, for a decent price if I remember, and if so, get that. But better yet, just find someone who hasn't played it, because honestly, it's an epic fantasy game that it has given me so many memories with my little nephews over the past 5 years. I'll never forget those. And yes, one day, if my girls are nerdy enough, we'll play through it all. Maybe through high school. Who knows? Number 73 is a pizza game called Papa Paolo. Papa Paolo, man, it has it all. Okay, first off, you're delivering pizzas. It's an engine builder because you're building up special powers on your board, enough to deliver more pizzas or buy more pizzas, or deliver certain pizzas at speedy delivery. So there's that going on, and you can get victory points at the end of the game if you get a lot of them up to a certain level. Now on top of that, it's a area control game, because you're trying to, as you're bidding for tiles, because it's also tile placement, you're building your own city with houses that need pizza. You're also trying to get area control so you can get the coin money. You get the majority on certain rows to get certain coins. And as always, money is tight. And why that is because it also has auctioning in the game. You also auction in the game, where if you're losing on something, you can't just go and get the third item, the only undesirable item for the bottom right price. You have to do a lateral move over to it. Crucial. So I'm paying, more or a little bit less for something I didn't want. That sucks, but that's the name of the game. It's so much fun. This game has it all. Now, I will say this. Buy the game used. Do not buy it new. Don't do what I did. I bought it new. It has 1 billion stickers. 1 billion. You have to put stickers on every little pizza cube that is in that game, and there are a ton of them. And it is sticker, sticker, sticker. I mean, honestly, I spent probably 3 or 4 hours just putting stickers on everything. So, believe me, you want to buy it used. But when you do, it's just such a wonderful game. I think I've even seen this go for cheap on Amazon too, but that's new. Just remember, you're going to have to use the power of you putting on stickers is going to have to be strong, because you'll be doing that for quite some time. Either way, fun pizza game. Eat some pizza while you're playing it too. At number 72 is a historical game that I absolutely adore. It is Lewis and Clark. Lewis and Clark, you are the explorers pioneering up through the mountains and the river, and you're doing that by getting certain cards, your band of travelers with you who are going to help you along the way to move you up that river across the path to Fort whatever to win. It's way more than that, than gathering resources and moving across the board, because each card can do something different. These cards are actual characters from Lewis and Clark's journal. Of course, you know me, being a history major, this game really sang to me. I have upgraded bits for it now. This is one of very few games in my collection that I sleeve my cards. I know, gasp everyone, I don't sleeve my cards. I don't have hours, endless hours to sleeve every card in my collection. But if I really adore this game, you're probably going to see it get sleeved. And I definitely sleeve Lewis and Clark lovingly. They just came out with a little promo pack that found all those hard to find, that Benjamin board, which I had a copy, but they have a bunch of copies and a few new extra promo cards. I got those too. The game is so much fun. There's a little bit of worker placement in there too, which I love, of course, but the game is so much fun. Not really, it's just a traveling game where there's a lot more pieces going on and just a lot of strategy. Each card you play, you're playing another card underneath it to power it up. You can watch my review if you want to know more about it. But if you love history, hey teachers out there, you want to teach your kids the Lewis and Clark adventure and who everyone was, this game can really help do that. It's wonderfully, very historically accurate, because some of the characters, what they did for Lewis and Clark, that's some of the powers on their cards. You can't get any better than that. Lewis and Clark, excellent game, my number 72. And finally, number 71 is Ferenzi. Ferenzi, you are building towers. You're kind of grabbing cards and of course laying tower pieces to get cards further down the line, and of course building these towers and cashing them in for points. The game has a lot of replayability because the towers that are blocked off and the goals are all random. And the cards, of course, can be shuffled and come out at any time. And there's a lot of strategy in this game. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It looks beautiful. Any gamer, this may be a next step game though. I almost said gateway game, but it may be a next step just because of some of the extra things you can do in this game. The cards you can play that can help you or hurt others. Just a lot going on. And of course that decision to skip over certain cards, eventually someone's going to get the card that everyone skipped over because it's got so many bricks on it. You're like, I gotta have that. I need bricks, because you got to keep building your tower. If you build a tower and then one round you can't build on top of it anymore, then it's going to crumble down to half rounded down. You don't want that happening, so you're constantly looking for certain color bricks once you decide to build a certain tower, and of course you're trying to cash those in first to get some big victory points. The game's pretty smart. There's some in-game points too you can do to win, but this is a wonderful game. I know the Kickstarter came with these like Joker bricks. You can get them, I believe, on the BGG store. They're not really worth it. They're just wild card bricks. They're okay, but you know, I could take them or leave them. You know, I have them, I put them in the game, but not really necessary to enjoy the game. Ferenzi, excellent game. Hey folks, that's it for now, but come back next time and I'll do 10 more. See you later.